Hello and welcome back to another Tuesday episode of World Traveler Cooking. Sorry about the background noise. They are working on tearing down the house next door again. I thought they were done, but apparently not. The outside walls are still standing, and I guess pretty soon they might start tearing those down too. So you'll have to bear with me in terms of the pounding noises. Now, I had decided to do a series on things you could pair with Swedish pancakes or pancakes, if you're trying to say this in Swedish, and if there are Swedes here, please correct my pronunciation on that. At any rate, I pulled this recipe off the ICA website. They are a large grocery store chain in Sweden, operating everything from small almost convenience stores, the ICA Nära, to the very, very large stores where you can buy literally everything, the Maxi. So, these will be eaten again with these Swedish pancakes. And what we have here is just an avocado mash with bacon. So this needs to be understood to be kind of like contemporary Swedish cuisine, not necessarily fine cuisine or traditional, but something that people might eat with pancakes today, and is in fact advocated for such on a grocery website. So, first of all, I have some bacon, and I managed to get some imported bacon today. So it should be about 140 grams of bacon for 4 people. So I'm going to cook maybe half of this. This is 340. To this we'll have 2 tomatoes, 1 large avocado, or 2 smaller ones. Now please note, here in Indonesia, I'm at a disadvantage because the avocados we have here are Caribbean avocados. These are the so-called tropical avocados or low-fat avocados. So they're a little sweeter, less high in fat, and they are typically paired with things like chocolate rather than things like onions. So this may not be ideal today. Sorry, I was just cooking all these pancakes, so I'm sweating a bit. But it'll do, and so we'll use it. We'll have a bit of lemon juice, maybe half this onion. Ideally, I prefer a red onion, both since it's a little milder in flavor and because it would look nicer, but I can't get red onion today. I thought about shallots, but decided I'd go with onion instead. Then we have lettuce and a bit of salt and pepper. So you can think of it as sort of being like bacon and guacamole on a pancake. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to cook the bacon, and while the bacon's cooking, I'll start prepping the onions. I'll finally chop them. I'll slice the tomatoes. I'll cut the lettuce into pieces, and I will start mashing the avocado. So I have some of my bacon cooking, and I still have 3 more pieces that need to go in. For those of you who have never cooked bacon crispy before, you want to cook it over heat that's lower than you would think. So on an electric stove, maybe medium. On a gas stove, I'm actually going low. But I'm using a low wide flame, so there's a lot of heat, but it's not just like pumping out heat. Because you want to give the fat a chance to render before the meat cooks up. So while this is cooking, I'm going to start slicing my veggies. Also, you do want to turn your bacon frequently, because otherwise it will very much curl. That's just because you render all the fat up on one side and it causes this to shrink. So we'll let this cook a little more, and I think I can probably add at least 1 or 2 of my other pieces. Hopefully maybe all 3. Remember, you're removing a lot of water and fat from the bacon as it cooks. So just keep that in mind, and in the meantime, I'm just going to keep prepping. So 2 quick things to note. When you're done with the bacon, you can put it on a paper towel to drain a little more of the oil off. And if you're cooking on steel or cast iron, you can go ahead and add some water while the pan's hot. Don't do this with non-stick because thermal coefficients are different on the non-stick coating. But you can just, if it's like a metal cooking surface, add some water, let it boil, and then we can just kind of scrape everything off and it makes it easier to clean. So for the veggies, I've sliced up the lettuce like that, sliced the tomatoes, and chopped the onion. Next, I'm going to remove the avocado from the skin and just, you can use a fork to do this, but I often find fingers actually work better for just pulling the skin off. Depends on how ripe the avocado is. I'm just going to put it in a bowl. I'm going to do this for both sides. As you can see, these tropical avocados also have a much, much larger pit, so that needs to be factored in also. So now that that's done, I'm going to mash the avocado, and I'll mash it with a bit of lemon juice. So we're squeezing about a teaspoon of lemon juice in. Mind the seeds. So I lost a seed. Fortunately, it ended up on the fork. Pretty good. And now we're just going to mash this together. This avocado may not be as ripe as some might like, so up to you. Once this is mashed, or even before it's mashed, we can add this here. We're going to add a pinch of salt. And a bit of freshly ground black pepper if you have it, otherwise a pinch of black pepper will do. And we're just going to mash this together. I'll be back when that's done, and then we'll move on to assembly. So for assembly, we're going to take some of the mashed avocado and spread it in here, how much you like. Add some onions and some tomatoes. And you can add some lettuce to the top if you'd like. And 2 pieces of bacon. And here we have our crepe. I'll be back in a moment to do the taste test. And now for the taste test. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fold it over like this. I don't think I can pick it up and eat it, but I do think I can probably cut it and eat it with a fork. So that's what I'm going to do here. So first, this would definitely be better with like California or Hass avocados, but I really like the effect, and this is a very, very nice light meal. Reminds me very much of sort of like a club sandwich, which is probably pretty obvious. But anyway, it is quite good, and it shows sort of the wonderful things you can do with Swedish pancakes. Now, if you like this content, you find it interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. When I get to 700 views, I will do Scandinavian pizzas. These are ones like the dreaded banana pizza from Sweden, or the beef and béarnaise pizza that I've only seen in Scandinavia. So when we get to 700 subscribers, I'll do that. Recipes in the description for this, along with a link to the Ica recipe. So you can see kind of how I've modified things, and you can see their presentation versus mine, etc. At any rate, bon appetit, and see you next week.